Hi guys, John here. This vid we're going to have updated tutorials for all of the challenges in Green Hell in 2025, and some of them are absolutely brutal. Now, a couple of things before we get started, guys. I'm going under the assumption that you know how to play the game and that you're not a first timer here. If you are a first timer, do not try the challenges. They'll just ruin the game for you. So I'm going under the assumption that you know how to play the game and you know how to craft fires how to craft axes and make fires, and just a general know-how for the game mechanics, etc, etc. And lastly, guys, check the description for shortcuts to all of the different challenges within the video, as well as all recipes to the certain items you need to craft, axes and armor and bows and stuff like that. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. Alright guys, first up we have Bonfire. Now, watching other tutorials, I was always a bit upset that they didn't show how to get to the actual area. This is before I actually knew how to use the map properly. So use the map in the beginning, guys, and I will show roughly how to get there. As you can see which direction I'm going. You can see the southwest in this direction, but I don't always follow it straight. But if you look in the top left corner, it'll always show you where you actually need to go. It shows you where the campfire is. Should be bonfire, but always as standard on the way to any challenge location, you want to look out for medicinal plants, you want to look out for coconuts, even the blue mushrooms to help with the stamina, and that is just standard. As well as, depending on the challenge, see underneath those trees you want to pick up the nuts, the source of fats, but as a rule of thumb, you want to grab any ropes depending on what challenge you're on, obviously. This particular one, you do use ropes to build your shelter, but other than that you won't need to use ropes. So at this point, I was kind of just looking for potentially dead birds for arrows, but again, you'll only get attacked if your insanity goes mad and you get attacked by the tribesmen. But I wanted to try and see if I could do this in one go without sleeping, without eating. You will need to sleep maybe once or twice. And don't worry about the timeline, as in the time pressure, it's not that difficult. I mean, I finished this with 2 days to spare. You really can make a fire, you can make a shelter, you can hunt animals, you can eat, to cook the meat at least and eat that. Other than that, it's a very straightforward challenge. Just watch where I go in the video once we get to the area, which is right over here. And once I have a look around here, you'll see me head down to the dry riverbed I just walked over. And at the end of that riverbed, you're going to have a cave with another bed, and a sleeping bed at least, and 3 coconuts and potentially some obsidian. Now, I built my shelter here because you want to be able to build and craft down to the wire. So just before you're about to pass out, you want to sleep. Whereas the bed in the cave is, I don't know, maybe a 10-15 second run. And that can be the end of you if your stamina is a bit low. But as you can see here, just looking around for some ropes, again, just for the shelter to get the ropes. And then I'm going to head down to the riverbed and grab the coconuts. Coconuts are the perfect item to find, because obviously they can give you food as well as you could drink them first. So make sure you drink a coconut before you harvest it, otherwise you will be wasting it. Otherwise, the challenge is very straightforward, guys. If you are having trouble doing it, I would suggest taking your time. I would build a fire, I would hunt for some meat, make sure you check yourself for leeches, and again, always be on the lookout. Like I said before, rule of thumb, always be on the lookout for medicinal plants, those yellow ones lying around. There's some on the left hand side, right over there actually. Look out for those plants, as well as the dead birds if you need to craft arrows, but you won't need to do it in this one. As you can see here, there's 2 pieces of obsidian and a bed and 3 coconuts. So I'm crafting my axe, crafting what I need to craft, and then heading back, and then I'm just going to be smashing out this challenge. Pretty straightforward. But again, guys, I'm going to say this only once. If you watch that series, you know what I'm talking about. I will say this only once. Then hit me up in the comments and I will answer any questions you have. I've been playing this to death on PS4, PS5, as well as the PSVR 2, which is mind-blowingly good. It's not open world, but it's still very, very good. But yes, guys, watch the video. I'll let this play out, and I will catch you on the next challenge. And here we go. Bonfire is done and dusted. As you can hear in a couple of seconds, I'm starting to go insane. So pushing it to the wire, but in the end, I could have taken my time if I wanted to, but no real need. Let's move on to the next one, guys. Alright guys, next up we're going to have Raft. Now, according to polls, this is the second most difficult challenge. But once again guys, use the map in the beginning to find your location. It's a lot easier to have a map on your phone or have it next to you on a computer to find out where you're going. But as a rule of thumb, as always, we are going for the blue mushrooms on the way to the challenge. And obviously on a Brazil nut tree like this, you want the 2 nuts as well, because that is a high source of fats. But once we get to this area, we should have quite a bit of items. So again, like I was saying, rule of thumb, we're not going to be fighting, first of all. So we don't need the dead birds, we don't need feathers. We're looking for stones, coconuts, medicinal plants, and the ropes. Because you want to get as much of the stuff on your way to this area, because once you get there, you're going to be taking that place apart, looking for stuff. That tree you just walked past has a high content of carbohydrates, the same as a banana, actually. But you don't have a tool to cut it down just yet. So your primary goal here is a stone, or stones, should I say. And we can't do anything to this coconut until we have the stones. The nut dropping over there, that's a cardinal sin. I should have picked up that nut instantly, but this might have been one of my earlier plays. But we're going to skip ahead. You're going to keep going the direction I was going. Again, look at your map. Look at the map at the start of the video to find out where we are. And we're going to hit this river. Once you hit this river, you're home free, because in here we're going to have obsidian, which is going to make your cutting of the trees a lot faster. But again, you'll finish this challenge with 2 days to spare if you follow this. Head into the cave as usual and grab the obsidian. I mean, it's not 100% necessary, because we're going to find ourselves machetes and rusty axes potentially at the fishing dock. But this river here that you're in right now, if you follow the way the water's going, it'll take you directly to the raft. So from this point, when you hit the river, you're home free. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to sort out myself an axe. And once I've done that, I can sort out the coconuts, and we're going to follow the river all the way down. And like I keep saying before, we're looking out for medicinal plants, we're looking out for coconuts, and potential meat, but we will have the tortoises once we get there. So follow this river all the way down, and I will jump around now to show you what I'm actually picking up. So I found some medicinal plants, which is absolutely awesome. This can be the savior of a level. And if you find lilies or you find tobacco, even better, because then you can treat poison. So just craft that on its own and you'll get those kind of bandages. Now, as we're coming down to the river mouth, we're going to be looking out for our tortoise. This tree ahead of us here is a good source of the fibers, or the tree dry leaves. And if we hit it a couple of times, some leaves will be green, some will be brown. The brown ones, you can actually hold down the button and you can harvest it. And this is what you should do in the main game as well. You shouldn't be using fibers, because you need that to create the darts if you're doing that kind of thing. Otherwise, just cut down the trees and you will get the dry leaves. So heading towards the river now. There's the river mouth down there. But over here, we're going to look for our tortoise. It's scripted. There'll always be a tortoise here. And there will be another 2 tortoises. And they're not turtles, they are tortoises. So again, we're going to keep ourselves clean all the time, because if you eat even one mushroom while dirty, you can potentially get parasites. Okay, so we do go through here at some point, but I don't show it because I'm just looking for medicinal plants. But the amount of bandages I have now is more than enough. I don't need to get more. What we're going to do now is go search the fishing dock. And if you look to the right, you can't look to the right, but if you look to the right over here, the raft is sitting right over there on the shoreline. We're going to be heading to the left, because over here we're going to find a wealth of goodies. First one being the second tortoise. You'll only need 2 tortoises, but if you come across a third one, harvest it anyway, because you can use the meat. But you mainly need it for the tortoise shell to create soup, and we'll get into that in a second. Well, not soup, a brew. So again, look over here, look for coconuts and look for medicinal plants. And that's about it. You can cut down some rope trees here as well, just to help with the amount you're going to cut down. This is a fishing trap. Now, I'm lucky enough to find one in there. Not necessarily for the meat, but you want to harvest him for the bone. Because if you do pass out, then you can use the fish bone to take out the worm that will be on one of your extremities, which is just not cool. We can harvest the Brazil nuts we picked up, and we can drop the shells they come out of, because the nuts themselves are a massive source of fat, and that'll probably be enough for this whole challenge. But if you come across bananas as well, obviously grab those. Over here, take your time making sure you look around here, because finding a rusty axe or a machete can really help this challenge, as in making it faster. So I found a rusty machete. There could be one over there. There could be one in this blue box over here, this crate. And then just to my right hand side over here on those pillars where that's holding the hammock up, there could be a rusty axe in one of those. So grab all of the items over here, open the bags, and grab the chippies. Then we're going to head back to the raft area. Now the raft is directly ahead of me on the shoreline, but I take a different route, like I said before, which probably isn't necessary. We've got the medicinal plants. We've got everything we need. We should go. I would go straight to the raft over here now. There it is on the left, just behind those trees over there on the left-hand side. But I actually go through the forest to look for medicinal plants. But I'm going to skip ahead to when I'm running towards the raft, and we'll get cracking from there. Okay, so there will be another tortoise on the ground there, and here is the raft. So first thing you want to do is offload everything. We need to keep the ropes in our inventory for the shelter and the cover. I'm just going to call the one the bed and the one the shelter. So there's the shelter, which is technically the cover, the canopy. So we're going to place the blueprints down, or white prints as it might be. Then we're going to fire over here. And then we're going to place the bed just a bit further down the beach towards the palm leaves over here somewhere. Right, so our aim now is just to build these. And like I was saying before, we want to harvest one of the coconuts, or sorry, not harvest, we want to craft before, or we want to drink the coconut, then craft it, and then create a bidon to combine it with the rope. Then drop all your stones, drop all your sticks, drop your fish bones, drop everything you don't need. Just keep one stone in your inventory to craft an emergency axe. And here's one of my biggest tips for this challenge, guys, is no one ever used the driftwood. No video I watched online ever used the driftwood. Now, obviously the advantage of having the driftwood here is that it's close to the raft, but the biggest advantage is that it takes only 2 or 3 hits. And even a bigger advantage is the fact that there's no creepy crawlies, there's no bites on the beach. We're going to do this tortoise, but we'll fast forward it. There's nothing that could bite you on the beach, so you can farm for the wood and for the logs in the pitch dark. And it only takes 1 or 2 hits with the obsidian axe, and maybe I think 3 or 4 with the normal axe. But you can run around on the beach as much as you want. I don't think we need another stone. But yeah, this driftwood, the logs lying on the beach, they will net you 2 logs in a couple of smacks. So that's a pretty cool thing. And you can do this in the pitch dark, like I was saying as well. So make sure you build your shelter first. Sorry, that's not called a shelter. That's called the canopy. Build your shelter. I can't get it right. Build your cover, your canopy, build your fire, and build your bed. So I'm going to jump ahead to when that is all done. And remember, stick to the beach when looking for this. Don't worry about the frogs. They won't touch you if you don't touch them. And you can play leapfrog with them if you really want to. But I'm going to jump ahead after grabbing all of the logs I need. Here it is. So behind me, we've got everything done. I just kept this in because I needed to go into the forest again for some rope, I think. And make sure you walk, guys. Turn the volume up. You'll hear a snake way before it strikes you, like way before. And you can easily avoid them if you're not moving too fast. So over here, you can't really see it, but these are the rope trees. I'll show you in the daylight. They've got creepers on them, and they will net you 3 ropes, 3 lianas, I think they're called. You have to kind of watch where they fall, because in the darkness, you kind of have to scan like this. And the rope is essential. So like I was saying at the start of the video, you just make sure you have 9 rope all the time. And stock up on that as much as you can. So once we've got the fire going, we've got the shelter above me going, and we're going to come drop off everything. Drop off, again, the rope, the stones, everything. Once your shelter, your bed, and your fire is done, we're going to put the tortoise shells in there. The insert button doesn't work. But you can just grab it. Then do not push insert. Once you fill this thing up with water, you have to hold square, push square, and move it until it's green. Then if you push square once more and it goes back to your inventory, you know it's worked. And do not push insert on the coconut here. Guys, it'll put your fire out. You want to manually pick it up, wait until you've got the green little icon like that, and push square once. As you can see, the water's boiling. Once the water is boiled, you can put anything in there. Mushrooms, meat, snails, anything you want. Meat is the best because you want the protein, and you will get rehydrated with the water as well. That is just called a brew, a tortoise brew, if you will. And the biggest perk about this is it never goes off. You can leave this in here for 50 days and come back, and the the brew will still be completely fine, and it's absolutely awesome. And in some of the games, you can actually put that soup into your Bidens as well, and that's for like long journeys. But as you can see, I put the fire out the second I've stopped using it because it'll attract the tribesmen. That's very important. Make sure you put your fire out once you've cooked. And I've got 2 tortoise shells waiting right there, and I'll be absolutely fine for nourishments. Now we're going to finish off the bed. I'm not going to show the whole of this. This is straightforward. Although this is called the shelter, isn't it? The hut shelter. Now I'm just, we're coming back from the forest again. Make sure you come back with 3 logs. Do not come back from the forest without 3 logs. It's a wasted trip. I'm just going to create my poison dressing there. And once the shelter's done, we're going to put the leaves somewhere else because they can get a bit irritating. And there we go. So looking at my stamina, I think I want to wash. Yeah, I do wash myself first. I'm not sure if it makes a difference, but, shower before sleep, although I'm a morning shower person. Okay, we're going to sleep. I'm going to fast forward this, and we can start crafting the rafting. So, I mean, it is pretty straightforward from this point onwards. The tips I can give you is stick on the beach for as much as you can, because, see, I didn't even need to eat that then, but why the hell not? Stick to the beach because there's, like I said before, there's no bites, there's no snakes, the frogs won't harm you, and if you're walking down the beach and you look in the distance, I'm having a bit of trouble here with the tortoise shell. I just want to put him back, although I don't even use it again. If you look in the distance, all those palm trees on the beach down there, they will net you 4 logs. 4 logs each, and potentially 2 coconuts. And we'll get into that in a second when the coconuts, we need to connect them. But for the time being, I just want to get some leeches off my arm, because if you look on the bottom left corner, we've got some little a magnifying glass there. That means we've got something wrong. So again, we're sticking to the beach. We're going to grab all of the logs on the beach, because they take only a couple of hits. And again, I haven't got 3 logs, so I'm just going to plonk them down there and head to the next log area. And this is going to be straightforward, guys. So I'm going to do this until all of these are done. And then to my left now, like I said before, there's lots of palm trees on the beach, and those will net you 4 logs each, as well as potentially coconuts. So stick on the beach as long as you can. You will have to go into the forest at some point, but those ones in the distance there, those are your primes, because there's no danger. So I'm going to skip ahead, guys, after I've harvested all these guys and picked up any coconuts that I find. I'll catch you in a second. Okay, I'm heading back to the raft area. As you can see, I've got half the raft built there. I just kept this clip in because I wanted to reiterate on something. Make sure you drop off everything. You don't need those planks in your inventory. If you need to stoke the fire, only use planks. Planks are the best for refueling any fires. Don't use the sticks, it's a waste of time. But over here, drop all of your ropes, drop all of your stones, drop your coconuts, and I kept this little clip in here because I found a medicinal plant. But more importantly, these are the rope trees I spoke about earlier. I showed this in the dark, so I wanted to show you in the light. I mean, this is obvious, you know this, but just to cover everything, I thought I would put that in there. And you watch where the tree falls, and at the top of the tree, the end of the tree, you will find the liana ropes right there. Grab all of them, and let's move on. So now we're finishing up the last of the sticks, and now we need the ropes. I think we need 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we need 8 ropes. So all of these, one of those uses 1 rope. Or was it 2? I'm not even sure. I think it's 2 actually. So maybe 16 ropes is what we need. But don't worry, we have a massive amount right there. Okay, now we have the coconuts. Now this is where a lot of people had trouble, and I don't quite see where the trouble was. The coconuts spawn, and I'll show you a little trick now as well to find out where they spawn. So if we're looking for coconuts, as we can see, we are totally fine. We've still got like 3 days of this challenge left. It's not going to be an issue. But if you're looking for coconuts, keep looking up. Keep looking up towards the trees and look in the distance. I'll show you now. Look in the distance by the cliffside. You will see 2 coconuts drop. Plonk and plonk. What that means straight away is that there's 6 coconuts there straight away. So every time a coconut drops from a tree, there's 100% 2 more coconuts in that tree. So here we've got 2 on the ground and 2 in each tree. We've got 6 coconuts. Bang, straight away. So I don't condone chopping down an entire tree for the coconuts, but this ain't real. So once we've got our coconuts, again, you can venture into the forest. Just watch out for those snakies. At this point of the challenge, it doesn't even matter if you get bitten, because you're not going to die in time. But grab your coconuts and head back to the raft and finish this challenge. Voila. Let's move on to the next. Alright guys, the Mighty Camp Challenge. Now this is fairly straightforward. What we're going to be doing here is heading to the refugee camp to get bamboo, as well as grabbing any charcoal that we find on the way or on the way back. And again, in the top left corner is going to be the locations of it, so don't have to worry about that. You can also just follow the video. Over here we're going to start off with some rocks. We're going to harvest those suckers, and in honesty, the challenge is very straightforward. It's not going to pose any problems. I did build a campfire and I did eat, I did sleep a couple of times, and I still finished this with 2 days to spare. So in general, what you want to do to start is, like I was saying, is head to the refugee camp. Just follow this river all the way down, and now you can peel off to the left, or you can just keep following this river down and you're going to hit the dock. You can head in here for some obsidian to help with the axes, but once you get to the exit of this river, you're going to be at the dock. Right hand side will be the raft challenge, and left hand side is going to be the fishing dock. And what you want to do is head in there and grab the charcoal from the fireplace, and then if you want to, well, you actually have to, sorry, you have to go across the river to get the bamboo. And to do that, just craft 2 spears and come back with 3 logs of bamboo, if you will. Making sure to check around here for your machete, or, there we go, rusty axe or machete. Oh, both of them. Wow, there we go. Don't need to craft any axes for this entire challenge now. But across the river there, you can see there is some bamboo. So you want to go over there, grab the bamboo, then head all the way back the way you just came. To find the place again, just follow the river that's ahead of you right now. We're going to come to the center over here and jump across here. Less chance of there being piranhas. Now, I think I do harvest 1 animal at one point, but it's not 100% necessary. It is possible to smash this out in one go. So I didn't pick up the charcoal there, but I do pick it up on the way back. So what you want to do is take 3 of these back, although you only need 2. And then over here, you can also cut some of these smaller ones. This is all fast forwarded, but just cut some of these small ones and create a couple of spears. This is so you don't actually need to craft a bow. You can take out some animals with the spears. But a bow is obviously always better, but not always possible. So I'm going to pick up a couple of spears. And since we have the rusty axe and machete, we're not going to need to be crafting anything else. So, like I was saying before, I forgot to pick up the charcoal. You need the charcoal for the filters. And just be sure to build the filters last. For some reason, I've been told that they actually make the tribesmen come and attack you. But do it last anyway. It makes no difference. But your charcoal here is what you need. You need 6 charcoal in the end. So unfortunately, there's no other campfire that's out very close. The one across the river over there is actually still has sticks in it, so there's no charcoal. But again, just head straight back, collecting any rope that you need. And you don't need a lot of rope, just for the... Actually, no, you do, sorry, for the shelter. So yes, make sure you pick up any rope on the way back. But to find your way back, just head to the river and follow the river up, which is actually behind us now. And you'll find it in no time. And again, it's always in the top left corner. And of course, there's a map at the start of this video. So here, we're going to get some dry leaves for the fire starter. See, this is what I'm doing. I'm just collecting stuff as I go. Couldn't get that, so eventually was able to pick up the bamboo. And we just do that anyway. So here's the river. We're just going to follow it back up the way we came. No problemo. And once you get back, guys, like I was saying, do the water filters last. And one thing you need to know is your fire that you start. I would start a fire as soon as possible after I've got my shelter and stuff up, because you need that fire to go out naturally. You can't put it out with water. It needs to go out naturally, and when the fire goes out, it's going to give you some ash, but more importantly, it's going to give you 3 coal pieces, which is what you need for the filter on the right hand side right now. So I don't show any of this, guys. Again, it's just foraging. Go out there, be careful of snakes, and I will catch you at the end. So it's around this time I figured out that you can't put the fire out with water. You have to let it go out on its own. So just sleep until it's done and finish off your last one. And you're good as gold. Bamboo and some rope. And it's done and dusted, guys. Let's move on to the next. Alright guys, the Hunter Challenge. Now this is pretty straightforward as well, and quite a bit of RNG luck involved, so there are a couple of animals I can lead you to, but for the start, as a standard rule of thumb, as we know, we are going for ropes, we are going for nuts, we are going for any sustenance at all, because this challenge can take you 10 minutes or it can take you 50 minutes. All depends on how lucky you are. So the first thing you want to do is get your stone. And again, I'm not showing you where I am just yet because there's no point. Get your stone, get a spear going. I happen to have a mouse right there. That's one of the things that you need. But don't worry, later on when you go to the river's edge, there'll be tons of them. So you want to craft our stone blade so we can get some of the tree cutting going. And once the tree's going, we can craft a bow, we can craft a spear. And I like crafting a spear first because you can use that against animals. Whereas you craft the bow first, then you need to find a dead bird or kill a bird to get feathers. But in one tree, you could probably do both like I've done right here. And again, there's going to be all recipes in the description, guys. But like I said at the start of the video, I'm assuming you have a knowledge base of the game. So as we go, we're kind of going to be heading northwest the entire time. There is a cave here, and I do chase this caiman lizard. Is it the caiman? Yeah, this is the caiman lizard, I think it is. Let me just double check that. Yep, caiman lizard, and this took me a long time to get him, so I'm going to skip ahead. Eventually I got him with a spear throw, because I hadn't found a dead bird for feathers just yet. But we're going to aim just above him and let gravity do its thing, and we got the caiman lizard. So, we need to harvest him because he's not harvested yet. Sometimes it'll say body in the top left corner, other times it doesn't. So you can harvest him, and like I will keep saying, is make sure you toss out all excess meat. So if there was 2 pieces of meat there, just throw out one because your bag's going to get super heavy. Over there we've got mouse meat and the lizard meat, caiman lizard. So again, trying all bananas or collecting all bananas, collecting all nuts, all fruits that you see. There's an anthill there, so caution. So the 3-banded armadillo you will find pretty easily. You just walk up to him and he'll go into a ball and you can harvest straight away. And that is again just pure luck if you see him or you don't see him, but you'll hear him quite easily as well. Making sure there's only 1 piece of meat, and then we can move on. So again, we're heading in the northwest direction. A little hint about the spear throwing. If you haven't got the bow yet, you want to make 100% certain you get a headshot on any of these animals that you're going to attack, because they will run away from you, and it's just a mission to run through the jungle, and then you could get bitten by a snake. So take your time when you see the animal that you want to kill. If you're throwing a spear, aim at this distance at the top of his head, because there's always going to be gravity involved. And once you get here, if you can't pick up your spear, just harvest him and you will pick it up automatically. And again, making sure you throw away any excess meat. Make sure you don't accidentally throw away one that you need, because that would be counterproductive. So when you're looking for the dead birds, the toucans and the macaws, it's good to be kind of high up, looking down, like from a rock or a cliff's edge. You'll see them much quicker, because I've gone minutes and minutes and minutes without seeing any of them, and you need them to kill these animals. So we're going to craft we're going to harvest another rock right there, and we're going to stand up here for a second, just scan the floor to see if we can see any of the black toucans or the red and blue macaws. I think one flies right past me there as well. But we do find them in the end. So again, we're always going to be heading northwest, because this is the direction of this little oasis that I want to show you. But over here we have the peccary, I think, or the tapir. Either way, we're going to take them both, because 2 of them look very similar, and so 2 of them that are brown look very similar. So that's the tapir, and then the peccary looks very similar, or it's the other one. I'm not sure if it's the other one or not. So we're going to skip ahead there. We just harvested him. There's a rattlesnake right here. Keep your ears open for them. They are very common. You can see how dirty I'm getting as well from all this harvesting. But still heading in the northwest direction, and then we eventually find a toucan. If I'm jumping, it means I'm happy. So that's going to get us feathers. So I'm not going to show the whole thing, but 2 feathers and a stick, and we've got our bow. Craft as many of them as you can. Every time you come across more feathers, just craft, because we're going to need them. So again, heading in the direction. And as well as just a rule of thumb, guys, any medicinal plants, any nuts, any coconuts that you come across, just eat them straight away, because it shouldn't take you that long. And here is there happened to be one behind him as well with his head right there. So this is the peccary, I think it is, the capybara. So we're going to harvest him and throw away any excess meat. Now this is the reason why we're going northwest, guys. This little oasis right here. So be careful on the left-hand side, because sometimes there can be an ant's nest. But over here we've got the armadillo. So you really, really, really need to take this guy out with a headshot. I wait a long time to get the perfect shot, because if he bolts and it's getting dark, you could lose him. And if you lose this animal here, it's not going to be good. So we want to make 100% certain we get a headshot on him like that. And I waited a long time. You can see the sun was going down. And then also in this area, you're going to find a tortoise. Not a turtle, a tortoise. So again, harvest him, throw away any excess meat. The tortoise we'll find as well here, and we will go to another area. Keep heading northwest and you'll get to this area. So this is where the raft challenge was. I know it's dark, apologies for that, can't do much, but the birds are everywhere. So once you've got the bow and arrow, you'll be able to take out the macaws pretty easily. And even the guy on the ground, if you harvest them for the feathers, you do get meat from them as well. So the toucan at least I've done already. So this is, like I said, this is exactly where the raft challenge was. But if you head northwest, you're going to hit this river and you're going to hit the fishing dock, which is directly ahead of us. So to my left is a possible tortoise. To my right over here, there's a possible tortoise. And further on, we're going to have the cane toad over here. There's always going to be frogs here. Don't worry about the poison ones. They won't touch you if you don't touch them. So there's a cane toad right here. And there's a fishing trap there, which we don't need. But what we need right now is to sleep. Make sure we have all of the necessities here. Grab anything we can. Rusty machete can always help. And then we're going to sleep. As you can see, we only need the iguana. This guy was a bitch. I spent about 30 minutes in real time looking for this guy on one of my challenges. I had to quit. So now after some research, those are the best locations to get iguanas. You can use the map at the start of the video, or use the map link in the description, which you probably should have open to make this a lot easier, make all the challenges a lot easier. But there's nothing else much more I can explain about this other than the RNG luck involved. So good luck getting the iguana. I eventually found mine at this location, 5122, which is pretty close to the ones I said. And wow, he is so sneaky. If he sees you, or you see him, he sees you, you know, kind of like Constantine's ghosts or demons. But eventually I got him, and the challenge was done and dusted. So I do wish you luck on finding him. Check those areas and you'll be good as gold. Let's move on to the next. Alright guys, the Fisherman challenge. Now, if you do not get rocks right over here or in this water area, then restart challenge, because there is a caiman hunting you right now. And ironically, this is the only time it didn't attack me straight away. Like within 10 seconds it should be attacking you here. So the snail over there is actually one of the things you need, so grab a snail whenever you can. But your main focus here is the rocks. Make sure you get the blades, and you want to craft 2 weak spears for this caiman. So it was just weird that he didn't attack me. If he doesn't attack you, then harvest 2 or 3 rocks, 2 or 3 big stones, and that should be enough. And I was still wondering where he was, because he wasn't there yet. And he should be coming out to the water right over here, where he has the last 6 times before. But if he is or isn't, I would normally run down here. Oh, before that, medicinal plants, guys. You want to pick them up whenever you see them. This can be the difference between success and failure. Yeah, I was a bit worried about my back being turned there, but this is the tobacco plant, so this is good for poison. Make sure you pick them up every time, but you still need to find the other plant to combine it. But there's normally a caiman chasing me, so I come to this specific tree every time. I chop him down, and it's going to give me 2 long sticks. And we're going to craft 2 weak spears. So all you have to do is craft it. No rope, no stone. Just craft a long stick, and you got a spear. And there should be another one here. And 2 spears is enough. You can do 3 to kill the caiman straight away, but 2 will be enough to make him bleed out. So I was a bit worried. I don't know where he was, because they are sometimes very, very silent. And they'll come up right behind you without hissing. So I don't know where he was. A lot of the time you can see me looking into the forest. This is just scanning the the immediate area for medicinal plants, because again, this can be the difference between success and failure. And I don't really leave the water's edge that far or go too far from the water's edge. The toucan was a good find because you need the arrows, you need the feathers for arrows. And now for the first time, the caiman came from this direction, somewhere over here, which I hadn't seen before. So you need to take out this caiman. You need to be aware of him until he's gone, because he has a homing beacon and he will just follow you no matter where you go. So make sure you get 2 headshots, like so. So if he's not dead now, it doesn't matter. He will die. He'll make it actually quite far. The furthest I've seen him with 2 spears in his head, he makes it to about here. But he will die and he will bleed out. Sometimes there's a yellow medicinal plant right over here. Unfortunately, not this time. But again, I'm going to skip ahead in a second. What you want to do here is craft a bow, so a long stick, get your rope. Here's the long stick. You can do a bamboo bow if you really want to, but either one is fine. So we're going to harvest a normal stick to get 2 small sticks, or 4 sticks, and there's rope right there in front of me. So yeah, craft your bow. I'm just waiting for this the caiman, to make sure he's dead. So again, I'm just going to be crafting some arrows and stuff, and here he is over here. I wouldn't harvest him, because you're not going to be eating much, as you pick up a lot of stuff at this camp over here, and it should be enough sustenance as you get majority of your fish in this pond that you're in right now. But we will be venturing to the other map in a couple of seconds, well, in a little while. So here's some rope for the bow. We won't need the rope for anything else, so you only need 1 rope really. Find a long stick and craft the long stick with some rope, and we've got a bow. Voila. So now look around the camp, make sure you search all these bags. We don't need the fishing rod, at least, ironically again. Check all the bags, pick up any coconuts or anything that you have, because you'll need them. If you do get overweight, make sure you drink the coconut first and then eat it and then discard it. Only when you get overweight. Over here is going to be a prawn trap at least. If there's nothing in here now, there will be very soon. But here's our first fish, the arowana. Very big, very easy to shoot. The same rule of thumb as the hunter challenge, guys, is once you've harvested the fish, throw away all the unnecessary bits. So for example, this one, we're going to throw away the skin. I would keep the fish bones in case you pass out, but if you have too much meat, throw the meat away, and so on and so forth. So again, I'm kind of just glancing inside to the jungle while staying on the water's edge. This way, you're not going to run into anteaters, you're not going to run into snakes. Just stay right on the water's edge and you'll be safe. But at the same time, looking for the other fish. So we're going to be getting angelfish, piranha, the disc fish, the crab, the snail we've already got. We'll have everything around this particular pond. And then we will mission north upriver to go get our peacock bass. So again, we're also looking for more birds, because we want the feathers for the arrows. The angelfish like to be underneath here. As you can see, this is the disc fish, not angel. It doesn't actually tell you when you've actually killed it. You actually need to go and pick up your arrow, and if you look on the right hand side of the screen now, it'll tell you that you got your discus fish. There. So you want to get your arrow, because feathers are few and far between. Well, that's a couple of them down. So we want to get I think he flies away actually, yeah. So again, we're just going to make sure we don't have any excess stuff, and we've got a lot of stuff we can eat or throw away to free up some weight. But like before, we're going to be circling the circumference of the pond. Again, every now and again, there's an anthill right here to my right. We're going to harvest the normal sticks to get small ones for arrows. And there's an anthill right there. We don't want to go near that. We don't want to rash right now. That would suck. And we're going to be looking for the piranha, I think is next. This was weird because there was actually 2 macaws there, and one flew away, one dropped. Anyway, we want to jump out of the water because here are the piranhas. Again, I've just kept following the edge of the lake, of the pond. If you walk in like this, they will come towards you, as you will see in a second. And then they're going to swim away. There we go. So kind of use yourself as bait. He's not going to do much to you, but one does come through the rock. I was lucky enough to get bitten here, right there. But if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, it picks up the arrow, but not the piranha, guys. As you can see, the piranha was not picked up there, so it's going to keep saying on the left-hand side that I need piranha, but I come back and collect this piranha, but I don't show it in the video. This is where you get your piranha. I'm considering the piranha as collected from now onwards. When we leave to go north, you'll see it's not on the screen anymore. So this is the one river that's the south of the pond. And I did want to check up here for stingrays. This is why I'm jumping. I thought maybe there'll be stingrays up there, but the water's flowing way too fast. But while we are here, we want to grab our crab, because he is also on the list. And I don't think I can harvest him, or can I harvest him? If you can harvest him, then do it, unless it says crab body on the left-hand side. If it says crab body, then just leave it in your inventory. I think I can harvest it. Okay, so, again, heading around the circumference of the pond, and here we're going to have angelfish. Again, it's difficult to see when you've actually killed them. You have to collect the arrow like I was saying before. Beautiful fish. I had lots of them in my old fishy tank. And if you look on the right hand side, we're going to have, there we go, angelfish body, because you can't harvest them, you just got to chow them as is, like the discus. Okay, now we're back at the camp. The anaconda is actually pointing towards the prawn trap, and I was surprised that I had to come back here after a couple of minutes because there was nothing in here. But prawns are one of the fish that you need, or the animals that you need. After that, we're going to sleep, and I haven't eaten anything, so at this point, do a bit of backpack check. And I slept again because I wanted it to be light, just because. Do a backpack check, make some arrows, throw away excess stuff, maybe have a bit of a feed, and when you're ready, we're going to head north. So from the camp, we head north, and there's another river, you can't miss it. And now we're going to be looking for our stingray. Now, this is the 4th or 5th attempt. I'm not sure what attempt this was, guys, but I remember most of the time there wasn't a spawn. And unfortunately, there's not many places you can go. I will show you one or two other spots, but on the way to the peacock bass, which is where we're going, this is the perfect environment for those stingrays. So if you can't see the bottom of the riverbed, change your angle so the sun maybe is reflecting off it and you can't see it. You want to be able to see the bottom. You want to see the rocks because they're super camouflaged. And all these mushrooms on the logs over here, make sure you chow them all, because if you look in the bottom left corner, they're going to give you a bit of energy or stamina. So again, this is sped up a little bit, guys, just scanning the bottom over here, and I was super stoked to find one. I thought that was one there, and then I found a microscope, which was just as weird, just randomly in the river. Cool. And then I found my stingray. Now he's got quite a big body, so I had to sort out my backpack and create some space, and I think I find him right over here somewhere. I was super stoked to see him because this challenge is not difficult at all. It's just the RNG factor, you know? Not as enraging as the RNG factor with Resident Evil 7, the DLC 21. Oh my god, 21 survival. I'm doing a share play job with that now, and it's taken me the longest ever. It's taken me almost 2 weeks to do that, and the RNG is just unfortunately not on my side. Anyway, we've got our stingray right there, so we free up some space in the bag, and we are good to go. So keep following this river in the same direction. It's now west, but don't worry about the direction. Just follow the river until you get to this. This is going to be the next map. So we're going to speed this up. We're going to drop down here. And now we're heading to the dock again, guys. Funny that. So come out of here. Just keep going straight all the way until we get to the dock. Once we get there, well, we still got to go northwest. Once you get out of the cave, head to the left over here and just drop down slightly and you won't break your face. So again, northwest is always the direction I like to go because I know the dock's in that direction. I know there's machetes, there's food, there's sleeping and that kind of thing. But this river I just came along, make sure you scan that river as well for the stingray if you haven't got him, because he can be such a bitch to find, and he's only going to be in those slow moving waters, in the slow rivers. So over here, if you're lucky enough, you might come across a peacock bass that has been caught in this fish trap. Because you can get the bigger ones in there as well, even though it's a small trap. But if not, turn around, head the way we came, and we're going to come and cross the river over here, the least chance of getting eaten by piranhas. And we're going to find a peacock bass almost immediately. They're going to be everywhere along the shoreline, all the way up to the river. Here we go. I hope you find that stingray, guys. If not, you're just going to have to retry or check all the rivers everywhere. But let's move on. Alright guys, radio challenge. This can be quite difficult, but again, I'm going to point you in the right direction and give you lots of tips on how to make this as easy as possible, but it is a difficult challenge. So turn around and head straight to the overturned Jeep All we need from here, guys, is the food. We don't need the Biden. We don't need anything else, just the food. We toss that out. So let me explain what's happening right here before we do anything. On this riverbed, just past the log over there, there's going to be rocks. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be harvesting rocks, creating blades. Then we're going to be creating spears, the stone spears, that is. So we want a long stick, a stone knife, and a rope. That'll give you the stone spear. Then we want to craft a bow. Obviously a long stick and a rope is going to be the bow. We want to look out for feathers the entire time on this challenge. You want feathers. If you can kill birds, then do it. You want feathers galore. The more arrows you have, the easier this challenge is going to be. Then also, before we leave this area, and I'll show it in a second, we want to build armor. Now, I didn't know at the time of recording this that you can actually put armor, the same armor, on your legs as well. I would recommend crafting 4 pieces of armor for all 4 of your extremities, and it'll make this challenge so much easier. Then you won't have to worry about medicinal plants. But if you see them, medicinal plants, obviously pick them up anyway. You'll only need the normal ones, the yellow flower ones. You won't need any poison unless you get hit by a snake. So I'm skipping far ahead here. I've got my spears, I've got everything. I'm just going to show you how to do the armor. So you just craft a banana leaf, craft a banana leaf, should I say, and then you put in 2 ropes, 3 sticks, and bang, you've got your armor. That's all it takes. Then you do the search icon when you're checking your arms for leeches, and you can open your backpack while that screen's open, and you can equip your armor on each of your legs. So I'm going to skip ahead here again, guys. Do that for all your arms and legs, all your extremities, and then we're going to be heading off into the direction of the first camp, and we're going to start this challenge properly. But do all of that before we move on, and let's go. So once we've finished with that, we're going to head in this direction of the river. I love how the water starts flowing when it's raining. It's beautiful. I love this game so much. But we're going to be heading obviously in the northwest direction. And now going down here, doing it slowly, I'm looking for birds, medicinal plants, nuts, coconuts, anything that can help you with your energy at the last stage of this challenge. Or you can do it differently to me and actually build a shelter, and I will get into that when we get to the second camp. So we were going to be heading in the northwest direction, and again, like I always say, get onto a rock or something to look around for those dead birds, because feathers are the way to pass this challenge. You need bow and arrow, otherwise don't even try it. I mean, the spears are good, but they're not as long distance. Okay, we found 1 bird. Obviously 1 bird is going to equal 3 arrows. And to craft the arrow, obviously the 2 feathers and the stick. So again, we're still going in the southwest or west direction. We're going to we're going to hit this cliff area right here. And then if you look left, the first village is going to be right up here on the left-hand side. So again, you want to, I'm not sure, you don't need any more rope unless you want to craft another bow, but you don't need that because we're going to pick one up. So over here, I'm going to craft some more arrows. I'm going to look for some more feathers. If I have 3 arrows, then I might attack this first camp. It's dangerous, but as long as you have the 2 spears to fall back on, then yes. So what I've done here is I've moved to the left of the camp on the hill, so I'm looking down, you know, height advantage, and just go very slowly. Don't run, don't walk, just crouch the whole time, and you want to go for headshots. But be careful trying to shoot through like this, because if there's a weapon rack or something there, it has like an area around it where the arrow will hit, and this arrow doesn't go anywhere near as hard as I thought it would. But now you need to listen. Listen if they're here. If you get a perfect headshot and they keep singing, then they didn't know you were there. And that'll happen a bit later. But right now, the melee attackers will always flank you. They'll never run straight at you. But because they've got a cliff on my left and a cliff on my right, I'm going to funnel them towards me here. And I also found out by doing this is that they don't care that one of their guys got killed. They're singing again. So if you pull away from the camp and then go back, they kind of reset, which is perfect. So if you don't want to fight them completely, you can run away and come back, and this works. Obviously, I'm aiming above his head for gravity on the arrow. That was a perfect shot. A bullseye, if you will. And then we're going to be heading to the left again, and there should be 1 or 2 more guys in this camp. I think they do run at me from this point. So it's just a force of habit collecting the rope, because we don't need the rope. And again, like I mentioned in the other challenges, guys, the spear does not have a stamina limit. If you see on the left-hand side, bottom left, you can hold that spear at the throw position as long as you like. I was very unlucky to get hit here. I was just too late on that. I mean, I knew it was coming, But I should just throw the spear, there we go, into his head. You can harvest him just to quickly collect everything, because it can be difficult, some angles trying to collect everything. Just harvest him, then head into the camp and grab your tribal bow. I'm assuming it's going to be better. If it isn't, then it's just kind of a resetted bow because you've used yours already. Make sure you patch up yourself if you have the medicinal plants. If not, make sure you have some maggots to put on there afterwards. But once you've done that and you've had a bit of a feed, we're going to head to the next area. So look, turn around, and the radio is going to be right there on a stick. I'm just skipping ahead there. There we go. And then we're going to head to the next camp, which is going to be, well, we're going to drop anything that we don't need. The bones. We don't need the stones now, because we've got the spears. And once we get there, then we're going to be throwing them. So, like the other challenges, we're going to be heading in an easterly direction now. And always, guys, in the top left corner tells you exactly where to go. And like I keep mentioning, there's a map at the start of this video, as well as in the description there's a link. And there I am standing on top of my rock looking for birds, and there's one right there. Fan-fugu-tastic. And again, on the way to the next village, you want nuts. The nuts are the best thing for you because they give you the most fats. And when you get to the camp, then these glowing mushrooms are essential, because you can do two things here, guys. I've only got half stamina left. And this is very, very dangerous to go into a fight with half stamina, because I could probably pull the bow back for a couple of seconds and then he's going to get tired. So what I would do now, if I wanted to make sure I get this challenge done, is to head off into the forest somewhere, build a shelter, you can build a fire. I mean, you've got days and days for this. This is the first night. You really can take your time. Come back here with full stamina and you will more than likely be able to do this challenge. Making sure that you got your armor, making sure that you got your spears and your arrows, you should be good. But for this one, I attempted to do this with half stamina, and it does bite me in the arse, but with a couple of stealthy arrow shots, before we even start the fight, we can reduce their numbers significantly. And if it is a good shot, like the first one is, they won't even notice me, or notice that that guy's dead. We're going to aim this at this distance, just above his head, just to account for the gravity. Now I want to speed up in between here with me hunting these guys, so we're going to peel around to the right hand side, or to the left over here, to get our shot on this guy. Again, aiming not that much above. You can see my stamina going down, how quick it goes down. There we go. So we're going to try again. There we go. So now we're going to peel around to the right, and we're going to grab our arrows from those guys that we just killed. I want to speed this up here. I love this new 4K capture. It's absolutely awesome. So again, I just harvest him because it's quicker to get all your arrows. Sometimes it's difficult, like I mentioned before. But when you're ready, we're going to take out these guys as well. I think this angle here, there's a weapon rack or something in the way here as well. Just got to be careful. Like I said before, there's kind of like an aura around items. And I was unlucky not to get the shot in the headshot, but there is another guy in the distance. And we're going to try and pull the arrow back and give him a shot. And that was a complete miss. So now we should get the spear out, and I should know what's coming here. I don't know why I didn't dodge that. It's not like I was surprised. I want to give him a nut tap there. And we've got to watch that guy in the distance now, because he's going to be throwing stuff at us. And again, with limited stamina, this just makes everything so much more difficult. So he's down, and I can't hear the volume now because I'm commentating. The volume's off on the video, but I throw the spear at him to interrupt his attack. And the higher you get it to his head and his chest, his shoulders, that area, then he's going to die. You'll hear him die now. There we go. That's the challenge done. But like I said before, guys, if you want to make this a bit easier, then pull away, build a camp, eat something. But once you're in here and you've killed everyone, it's going to be the battery's going to be on a thin stick right there. And we're going to fast forward that. Once we've got that, the challenge is done. Now we're going to move on to the most brutal of challenges. Let's do it. Alright guys, this challenge is just so brutal. So I'm going to show you this map here. And this is what you're going to be using to get to the area where we're actually going to do this challenge. So starting at the top there where the S is, it looks more like a Superman S. We're going to head southwest to the tribal village, which is actually called the refugee camp. And that's going to be surrounded by bamboo. Then we're going to head over the river to the fish dock. As you can see, the anchor right there. And then we're going to head all the way down south to the drug lab. The blue arrows are potential caves you can visit on this route to collect iron ore. Now, when I first did this, I had no idea that I only needed 7. I was just reading that you've got to collect as many as you can, but If you have 7 ore or 7 tins or a combination of both, you only need 7 total, then you can stop collecting iron because you only need that amount to craft everything you need. So once you get to the drug lab, we're going to head northeast to the Painted Rock, then down to the village, and then all the way down to the south where this challenge is going to take place. So let's get on with this because it is absolutely brutal, and if I had known what I know now, I probably could do it quicker, but I will get into that a little bit further down the line. So at the start over here, guys, we want to get stones. If there's no stones in your immediate area, just restart the challenge because you have to run outside the cave. It's just time wastage. So you want to get some stones here, harvest as many stones as you can, and we're going to head back into this area in a couple of seconds because there is some iron ore in the cave that we started off at, and we might as well get a head start on that. So we're going to head outside this cave. We're going to craft a pickaxe, which is going to be a stick combined with the item that I'm holding, the blade rock blade, if you will, and that's going to create a pickaxe. So again, I hear some tribesmen over here as well, which is weird. I didn't see any, I just hear them talking. But out here, we don't even need a bow and arrow. You don't need any weapons at all, guys, unless you're going to be harvesting animals on the way down. But you won't need that. You'll need a bow and arrow at some point when you have some downtime waiting for your forges, because then you can shoot fish, which is going to be right next to you. And we're going to make ourselves some broths or brews, if you will. Of course, the medicinal plants, like I keep saying in all these challenges, goes without saying, if you walk past rope, pick it up. If you walk past medicinal plants, pick them up because you're gonna need them, guys. If you walk past tobacco or the lilies as well, pick them up, you're gonna need them. So crafting, again, there's gonna be recipes in the description for most of the stuff, but it's pretty straightforward. Pickaxe, rope, blade, rope, and a stick. You got a pickaxe. Now be careful when you come back in here because, well, the scorpion's still going to be here, but there's going to be a sneaky puff adder snake. I say sneaky puff adder, but it's actually a rattlesnake hidden in the leaves just ahead of you over here. So caution, caution, just to ahead of me right there's going to be a sneaky. And we're going to come back in here and we're going to harvest some more stones if we want to. But the reason we're here is the iron ore. And I must have had maybe 15 pieces by the time I got to the area at least where we're going to be doing this challenge. And if I'd known that, I could have stopped searching all those caves and everything and just ran straight down. I could have saved myself a couple of hours or saved myself a day or so, because this comes down to the wire, guys. And there's potentially a bird nest over here as well, which you might as well pick up because it'll be able to start the first fire. And off we go. So again, I keep saying rule of thumb, on the way to any destination, I'm going to have coordinates at the top, but at the same time you want to pick up nuts. Nuts are your friend. Nuts, bananas, anything that you can see around these large trees. These blue mushrooms are going to be a godsend because your stamina is going to be stretching at some points. And in the same time, around these trees you get the ropes as well. And of course the Brazil nuts are, once you've harvested them, they're going to be the massive source of fats for you. So again, we're going to be heading to the southwest, and this is going to be towards the camp. So again, maybe take a screenshot or something if you're able of that first map in the beginning so you can follow what I'm saying. It's a lot easier to see it, to visualize it literally, and to see where we're going. But again, bananas, grab them. The refugee camp is going to be 53 west, 17 south from this point over here. You want to collect at least 2 tortoises. They're not turtles, they are tortoises. But as long as you have 2 of those, that's fine. You don't need more than 2. And you're going to keep heading southwest, and we're going to hit the river. And this is where the dock is. This is where the raft challenge is. So a fail trying to get over the water without it being eaten by piranhas. We're going to head across through the bamboo forest and up to the refugee camp. Ready or not? Here, anyway, there's lots of nuts there. And the reason why we are here is not for anything at the camp. We're only here for the cave on the right hand side. So essentially you could eliminate this whole area, but you want to get that iron ore. You want to get 7 pieces of iron as soon as possible. So potentially there are other places down the line that you can skip. So once we're in this cave, there's a shit ton of areas you can search. So I just like taking out the scorpions because they kind of will follow you. There's a snake and a scorpion in here as well. Just take them out. I wouldn't be harvesting anything just yet. Our aim here is to get the iron ore and to tuck tail. So there's also going to be tins in here. If you're lucky, a couple of tins, and then that is going to boost us forward. Look at that tin there and a tin there. Look at that, 2 tins. Is that 3 tins? No, that was a coconut. And again, we're going to be looking for the iron ore. So that is a total of 3 pieces of iron. So when I say iron, guys, I mean iron ore or just tins. They both count as exactly the same thing. All you need is 7 pieces, and I've already got 3. So this is crazy. I actually might want to do this challenge again to see if I can do it see how much quicker I can do it, because I spent a lot of time going to these caves, which I'm not going to show you. They're on the map, but I'm not going to show me going to them. They are there if you want to veer off and get them. But over here, there's a way down, but it's not necessary. If you have 3 already, like me, or maybe even 4, then you're laughing. So as you can see, the coordinates have now changed to fishing dock 5119. And again, this is where you've been lots of times on these challenges. If you followed my videos, then you've been here multiple times. And the main reason why we are here, guys, there's a couple of reasons, to be honest. We're going to check the area for the machete, the rusty machete, or the rusty axe, or the machete or the rusty axe. But there, the charcoal is why we are here. We want to get a head start on the furnace because we need to put out a fire. And before we can do that, we need charcoal to light the furnaces. So again, check this place meticulously, guys, for tins, because 1 extra tin here could mean not visiting a cave down the line. So at this point, I came to check out the fish trap. Just in case I passed out, I needed the fish bone. But from here, guys, it's going to change to the drug lab. 50 west, 26 south. It's literally directly south from here. Maybe 1 square over. But again, I'm not going to show this whole journey, but you want to be looking for any type of foods. Feathers, you can pick up feathers, because you'll need the bow and arrow later stage. You could just use the spear. But this area, guys, after visiting this area, you potentially could have all the iron you need. So all these other areas that I visit, I don't need to visit, because I didn't actually realize. I think I had like 8 or 9 pieces of iron. I mean, there's bags of other stuff here that can keep us awake. Not that I condone that, but that's quite a laugh. Unfortunately, there's no painkillers. That would have been good. But over here, guys, you could find so many tins. So this one's full. So if you eat it like that, be sure to pick up the empty tin afterwards. As you can see, it didn't automatically pick up. And over here, open the bags. Make sure you check inside them. This is obviously second nature to you guys now. And then I don't know if I was lucky or not, but I found 2 more tins right here. And then even more tins by the fire. So by the time I left this camp, I had more than enough of the iron that I needed. But at the time of recording, I didn't know that. So I was still meticulously searching caves and stuff, and I could have just run straight to the area and started the challenge. But there's a lot of arrows here as well. More arrows than you'll ever need, actually. So yeah, you probably won't need... Oh, there are painkillers there. Bring that on. Definitely for those little centipedes. That's the only enemy you have to face is the centipedes. Although the area we're going does say that there's no tribesmen, but I did get attacked by 1 guy that came down the river. And right here, guys, this is why we're here. The charcoal and the pot. Right there. Those 2 things are definitely guaranteed. We need those. So at this point, I'm just fast forwarding a bit. Well, I'm not fast forwarding yet. But we want to empty out your bag, make space, harvest the coconuts that you've got. I can see I haven't got any tortoise shells, or are they in the other slot? I think they're in the other slot. Because you want at least 2 tortoise shells, or you can use coconuts, but you'll just have more space in the tortoise shell. So that's what I'm doing here. If you pause that, you can actually count 8 or 9 or maybe 7 pieces of iron, and that's all you need. If you have 7 pieces, you don't need to collect any more. But over here, I was just collecting everything. I didn't know that I didn't need it. So yeah, I can put that to rest. Count how many pieces you've got. If you've got 7, then voila, we are good. Right, so after we've done all of this, we're going to be heading to the northeast, to the Painted Rock. And this can be quite difficult to find in the dark, guys. I wouldn't recommend using a torch because the tribesmen will home in on you quite viciously if you have fire. So here we go. We find the Painted Rock. Take you 30 seconds to run here. Then once we go through here, Tribal Village, 4625. Now, I failed massively here. I came to this village. Well, we're going to walk through this to get to our place, but I didn't pick up the charcoal in the fireplace. Right here on my left-hand side, and above my watch, right there, there's a fire pit with charcoal. So, a bit of a fail on my half. But from there, we're going to head directly south from that village, like directly south, all the way down to 4630, as you can see, home base for this challenge. So conveniently put up there. And then we're going to get to this area here. I came in from the other side. But this is why it's so safe, because there's 3 fallen trees that create bridges to this area, and tribes people can't use these, which is why people were saying that no one's going to attack you. Now, I did get attacked, like I said, from the river on the left-hand side, but only one guy made it through there, so he was easy to dispatch. Make sure you have some weapon on hand, and I would recommend the bow and arrow when it comes to that kind of thing. So I'm just going to pause the game here for 2 seconds and tell you a couple of things where I failed, where I don't want you to fail. So first off, in front of you there's a palm tree. Do not cut any of these down, guys. These things are vital. I cut almost all of them down, and they weren't spawning bananas, obviously, because they were cut down. But the one tree I did have up wasn't spawning bananas fast enough, and that almost made me fail the mission because of my my nutrient stats were in the shits, because I stupidly cut down all my banana trees. Secondly, you could see this whole area is kind of sloping down. Now, I built my campfire and my canopy right in front of me there on the first bit of sand that you see. Don't do this, because when it rains, this turns into a river, and I didn't know that. And I didn't understand why my fire kept going out, because all the water was running down here to my river, or into my fire. So I would build my fireplace and my shelter, not the bed, the shelter on the left hand side by the rocks, just past the palm tree on the left over there, because then you're not going to have this downflow over here. So put it as close to the river as possible, the fireplace that is, and your cover, your canopy, because we don't want to get the fire put out all the time because of the rain. Lastly, there is a centipede that attacks you. I'd never seen it before. So he only comes if you pick up something, and then you'll hear like this high-pitched screeching sound. If that happens, just simply drop what you're holding, and he's done. He won't attack you anymore. All right, guys, so we are going to start this off. Let's go. So when you build your sleepy hut, you want to do it further up the hill. You don't want to put this down there, because it's going to get quite crowded down there. And again, like I just mentioned, we're going to swap things around. You're going to put your your fire right over here in this corner. Put your fire in this corner with your canopy in this corner, and put your forge and your furnaces on the other side. But drop everything off. You will not be needing to carry any of it. Then finish your bed, and do not sleep just yet. We are going to start the fire, and again, this is something that I did wrong because it went out because of the hill, but it did help for the start. And there's a whole pond over here full of fish, but at the time being, our meat is still good. So we're going to put our meat inside the tortoise shell after we create a bidon, because we're going to need to do some water transports. So again, just quickly, you need to hold, well, not hold, just push square, wait for the green icon, and if it goes straight back into your bag, you know you've done it right. Do not push the insert button here now, it'll put your fire out. You have to manually put the water inside there, and when that's cooked, this is probably all second nature to you. When that's cooked, you can chuck the meat in, you can chuck mushrooms, you can put anything you want in there, well, within reason. There we go. Okay, so pick up mud to unlock all of the blueprints that you're going to be needing for this challenge, and then we're going to start going. So we're going to do the furnaces first. Mud furnace, we're going to put 2 of these suckers down, one over there and one over here, and then just start making the mud, guys. Or I'll put the blueprints down for these 2. The mud maker is going to be right next to the water. Sorry for the darkness, nothing I can do about that, but the closer to the water that is, the better. And this should always kind of be going in the background. And we're going to eat our mushrooms now, our blue mushrooms. That's what I'll do. I'll eat all the blue mushrooms to stay awake as long as possible. As you can see, they are quite hardcore. They give you tons of stamina. And again, at this point, we're harvesting. I'm not going to show this all the time, guys. I'm going to skip all the harvesting, really. If you need wood, just go get wood. If you need the ropes, then go get the ropes, and so on and so forth. But the same strategy applies. There's no point in going back to your camp without 3 logs. 3 logs is the max you can get. Remember to keep all your planks by your furnaces, because you will be using those for the furnaces all the time. It's much better than using sticks. I use sticks to kind of top it up at the end, but the planks will do 3 or 4 planks will fill that up. So we're going to put mud in there, and we're going to put mud in there. Now you should already have ash on your inventory from the other camps that you visited, but you know how to make mud bricks by now. I let the rain do it, and if I'm desperate for mud, then obviously, or mud bricks, then obviously I'm going to use the bidon to empty water in there. But when that's done, oh, there's my bananas. I should have left that. Can you believe I actually cut this tree down in the end? Well, somewhere in the middle. Very, very stupid. Do not cut down your banana trees. So, I want to speed this up. We are going to finish. Oh, I love how smooth it is. I know I've said it before, but wow. Got a brand new PC. Spent £3,000 on a TV. On a PC. And it's an absolute monster. Okay, so here we go. Once our furnaces are built, we need to... See, here I use the sticks because I just have a stack of them and I want to get rid of them anyway. But it's a much better idea to use planks. Because, like I keep saying, they are designed for it. So we want to make sure we also kind of clean all the time. But then we're going to build our shelter. Sorry, it's not the shelter, it's the canopy. And again, you'll be doing this on the other side. Do not build it here. I kind of have to say it all the time because sometimes people skip through as well. And they're like, oh, what are you doing? But if you don't watch from the beginning, I can't be held responsible. So here we go. We need to... I see at this point right here, guys, I would be doing nothing but trying to get both of these furnaces lit. I do a whole bunch of stuff in between. I go fishing. I go build a fire and stuff like that. But all you want to do is get both of these furnaces lit ASAP. Because they produce the fuel you need for the mud furnaces. So there we go. One is done. See, that's what I made a little reminder for myself here. Get the second one burning as soon as possible. I don't get it burning as soon as possible. I don't know. I go chase some butterflies or something, but I do not light that quick enough. Because I think I waited an entire night as well. Oh, this is just an example of the centipede. The first time I ever experienced this, and I played the entire game on the story mode. If you hear that screeching sound, just drop the wood. Drop the wood and you'll be completely safe. He only bites you if you hang on to that wood. Also behind me there is a cave if you want to make another obsidian blade or axe. And there's also potentially iron ore in there, but I don't think you would be at this area just yet if you didn't have enough iron, because there would be no point in starting it. You have to have your 7 pieces before you get here. See, like I was saying before, I kind of didn't do the right thing here. I should have had that furnace going. I should have focused on that. Luckily, I put a little reminder in there. So now we've got a fever going, and there's our bite over there. I do show a little bit later that on the right-hand side of the screen, behind the pond, there's potentially some medicinal plants. So go and have a look down there. I do venture down there for some stomach parasites later, or some mushrooms to combat them. And again, I was wondering, why is my fire out and there's still wood there? This is when I started realizing that the flow of water when it rains puts my fire out from that hill. Okay, so my first sleep. It's very dark. So again, I haven't really finished the canopy over my fire, but that's fine. And this will be the last time I'm showing the ropes as well. Like I was saying before, I'm not going to show myself harvesting very much at all. You just got to go get stuff when you got to get stuff. So here we're going to finish our canopy. And again, it's absolutely useless because the fire goes out anyway. I like to move the leaves. I do have a bit of mess around there at some point, but it's always good to not put planks and stuff in this area where the sand is, because it can be quite irritating to try and get coal and stuff out of these furnaces. So here we go. Eventually I light the second furnace, but I need an ember. It would be cool if you could take a burning stick from this. You can use a torch, but if it's raining it'll just go out. So here I'm kind of looking about what to do next, and some fishing. Fish is good. You can make the fish stew. Again, I'm not going to show the fishing. I'm just going to show you once now that it's here and you can use it. Put the fish meat in the boiling broth and you've got hydration with proteins and stuff like that. And you might as well put the other meat next to it. Even if the meat is burnt, guys, it's actually a cheese of the game. If the meat is burnt, it doesn't go off. So you can keep it in your inventory forever. So here we go. We're lighting the second furnace eventually. And then very soon we're going to put the blueprints down for the smelters. So here we got some meat. We're going to chow that. Get some sanity back. There we go. We're going to place 2 of these guys down. And again, you'll be doing it on the other side. Hopefully, if you've watched from the beginning, your fire will be this side. And we're going to put these guys down right here. And then we're going to skip ahead because you don't need to see me building them. Just build them. Put the sticks in, put the mud in, and so on and so forth. Now, I kind of do mess up near the end where I didn't count what I needed. and I was doing other things when all I needed to do was just smelt, but we'll get into that. Make sure you get the last bit of coal or ash right at the back. If you move to the right hand side, then like here you'll see, just over there you can see it, you have to kind of move to the side, and you want the ash, and if that's coal, you definitely want the coal. So this is where I pile up my planks in the middle of these two furnaces, because you can see here, that wasn't as much as I thought it was. Maybe it was half a plank. Maybe it does give a quarter. Well, that's more than a stack does, so it's also less effort to the planks. So we are going to do the mud stacks now, but it tells me I need to do this first. So again, at this point, guys, I would get that furnace burning. There's no point in doing the smelting just yet. Get that other furnace burning, otherwise it's a waste, especially if you sleep or something and it's not a light, then you've wasted a lot. Now you can put more than the amount of sticks in here, because as you can see, they kind of just pop up and you can grab them again. And then all I need to do is put some mud across the front of that and light that bastard. Going a bit forward, go do some feeding. What are we doing here? Oh, that's when the tribesman comes. So that gave me quite a fright, because I wasn't expecting any company. You could I probably wouldn't harvest and eat the meat, because your sanity is going to be pretty low by the end of this. Just leave him there, pick up your arrows again, but I didn't get attacked at all. He was attacking my furnace, the bastard. So here we're doing a bit of bag management, throwing away some stuff, and we're going to do some drinking. That looks fine for now. I should be focusing on that furnace. There we go. And there was some fiber on the ground over here. There it is there. Let's get that guy lit and ready to go. So I'll be cautious about piling sticks and stuff in that area where I'm doing it there. It gets a bit messy later. And because these furnaces require you to grab stuff from the bottom of them, it makes it a bit more difficult. So I'll probably just keep the area directly in front of the furnaces open to save yourself some hassle a bit later. So as you can see here, I don't know why I'm showing the fishing again. I'll probably skip ahead now. Yeah, I do. I do have a parasite because I probably ate something with dirty hands. So just to show you quickly, if you go to the other side of this pond, there is a log here with potential stuff on it. And luckily, it was the right mushroom I needed to take away my parasites. Don't pick the rest of them because they'll stay there in case this happens again. But that's where they are. Okay, moving back. We got our furnaces burning. He's ready to go. We need to do the ember on this sucker. I don't think I have... Yeah, I do have fiber, so that's good. And off we go. Third or fourth time? Third time maybe? Second? I don't know. But since we have enough charcoal now, we should get our furnaces going. We should be focusing on this solely, which is, I think, what we do here. So 2 stacks of 15, I think. I'm not sure how much is in a stack that you pick up. Can't remember. 15 as well, yeah. So you pick up 15 from your furnace, and it takes 30 to max that out. So once that's in there, all we have to do is, before you light it, I think I did it the other way around, but definitely put the metal in the furnace before you light it, just because, I don't know, the couple of seconds at the end of this challenge could mean the difference between pass or fail. So once again, we're just having a look over here at the water, making sure we've got... Well, it's not raining. I think that's what I'm doing here. You've got to make sure you pick it up, and if it goes back into your inventory on its own, you know you've actually collected water. You have to wait for that little green icon. And we want to put some in the tortoiseshell and get that meat going as well, because if you have watched the other challenges, if you put meat or anything in this tortoiseshell brew or coconut brew, it never goes off. You can put the fire out, you can leave it there for days, it'll never go off. It's definitely the best food to eat, hands down. Okay, so we're looking good now, but trust me, by the end of it, I'm hearing voices. So what are we doing here now? We need to get this mud going so we can finish the second furnace, but I probably would have lit that first furnace because it's kind of wasting time right now. It could be burning. I kind of wanted to do them same time, but there's just no need for that. So 9 AM on the first morning. Yeah, so the other one could have been burning for a while now. It's got full fuel. So focus on that before you do this. So now we've got both full, and we're going to wash our hands And then once the second furnace has got fuel in there with all the coal, we are going to chuck in our first 2 smelters. But like I was just saying now, the other smelter could have been going for all this time. But as long as you don't sleep or anything with these things being empty, it'll be fine. Now there's a stack of 5 or something there, so they're both full. So now we're going to chuck them in and light these bastards up. There we go. Get our first smelters on the burn. See, this is what I'm doing wrong already. You should put the metal in first. I mean, it's a couple of seconds, but I think I realized as I was lighting it there, I'm like, wait. So the pot I leave there for the water, and we're going to get our metal. I think you can use the insert button for this if you're kind of looking down at it. You don't have to do it manually like this. So I think I'll start doing it a bit later, but just a bit quicker. And again, I guess I didn't follow my own rule, and I'm lighting it before putting it in. Let's see what happens. Let's see. I think it takes 7 hours to burn. We're just going to make sure we have 2 other tins in our inventory. And then we're going to put it in. Let them melt. These guys are still going. He's still going. He's almost done. It is kind of a good idea to have them staggered so they don't finish at the same time. But we're going to harvest a mud brick, guys, to get an empty armor mold. As you can see here, just going to chunk them on the ground. And then to craft an armor mold, you want to select it. I think I'll do it on the ground. No, not yet. I think I wanted to empty the mud. No, don't know what I was doing there. But we're going to eat that. And we're going to put some more meat while it's not raining. Because when it rains, my fire is gone. And at this point, I had no idea why. So, these guys are still going. Now I start picking things up a bit. I start skipping a lot more because you kind of got the basics. And I want to show you building the metal blade and the cast. Here we go. This guy's done. Once again, be sure to get right at the back over there, guys. As you can see, the heel's facing upwards here. And it might be a bit easier to grab the ash than it is on the downslope. So one more time, we're going to look at the big logs. We're going to go for these planks. The planks are the way forward. And get them in there. We're just going to speed this whole thing up. You don't need to see this again. I remember the planks giving more, to be honest. It was weird. But the stack of sticks definitely works. And just put anything you have in your inventory to get this guy going. So you can harvest the long sticks for 2 small ones. And anything you put in there, any leftover is going to pop out like that, as you know. And we're going to close him up and light him straight away. Do we have fiber? No, we don't. So again, with the palm tree leaves, not necessarily the palm trees, sorry, just the palms. They have brown leaves. See here? This is when I stupidly cut my source of carbohydrates down. I don't know what I was thinking. The only thing I could think I was thinking is that I wasn't thinking. So here we go, our first melted ore. Get in. There we go. So these guys are still half full, not half empty, depending on your outlook on life. This guy needs another ember, so we're going to get him lit straight away. Because we need him to be burning. There we go. One more furnace lit. And we're going to top up our fuel for our mud furnaces. Mud smelters, whatever they're called. I wonder if I can insert. I could insert, but I don't think it'll do a whole stack. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to make sure we got our metal down there, which I don't do. So those guys are burning without any metal in there now. Stupid. And I was focusing on the blade. Unless I cut it out, I don't know. Just make sure there's always metal in there. I mean, duh. That goes without saying, doesn't it? So we want to craft an empty mold. And we're going to put the stone blade in that empty mold, along with some of the melted ore we've just taken out from the furnace. Then we'll craft that. There it is there. Craft that, and that is going to be our blade mold. Now we only need one of those. I'm going to skip ahead there after a bit of steepy. No. Luckily that's the one banana tree I didn't cut down. That saved my ass later. But over here you can see both these guys are going, and I'm assuming I've put metal in those. Nope. So whatever I did up there for this entire time, I haven't had a single piece of metal in there. So luckily I mentioned before as I lit that there was no metal in. So that was probably a good couple of hours. I don't know how long it was, but it's dark and it was light before. So massive fail there. Luckily at the time, like I said, as I filled them up, yeah, those were full. So that's a massive fail there. I mean, it's 3/4 of a fuel use with no metal inside, and I still managed to do the challenge. So make sure there's always something in there. I know it goes without saying, but when you're playing the challenge, when you're doing the challenge, you're trying to think of everything at once. And there's no excuse for that though. That's a dumbass move, or lack thereof of a clever move. So again, we're going to be filling this up as much as we can. We're not going to put in more because unlike the fires, if you put too much coal in, it's just wasted. So here we go again. We're going to find an empty mold. We're going to take the melted ore and we're going to take 1 stick and we're going to craft. Now that's going to create the armor mold. Now, just like the blade mold, we still have to make these, we still have to cook them. We have to furnace them. We have to, what's the word? I'm not sure. You know, fire them like a pottery fire. I don't know. They have to go back in the furnace for a session. So there's 2 sessions for each one. See, there's some ash over here. This went out on its own. And we got some more charcoal, which is good. Not good for my belly, but good for the coal. So again, I'm putting a whole lot of stuff down in front of these furnaces. Like I was saying before, it's a much better idea just to have them just a bit further away. I'd probably cut down those leaves that are on the other side of the sandy area so you can actually see what's going on. And I still have to do this for the PS4 version. I probably will do it for the PS4 version and record it, but I won't commentate. So I'll send you here for tutorial and just see if I can do it quicker. Okay, so here we go. We are harvesting the long sticks to get small sticks, and we are full. So we want to fill up our furnaces once again. Only a touch more needed there. And we need some mud. I think I start bringing some mud next to these guys at some point. Oh, mud mixer, we have to use that. Let's skip ahead. See, this is what I start doing now. You don't need to see everything. So drink the water every time I come here. And the coconut ball, I'll probably destroy those. They're just irritating. There's the iron ore I was looking for. An empty can. Luckily, we've got 2 in there this time, unlike the previous fail. So these 2 are now done. We've got the melted ore. Now what we can do, we can either put more melted ore in or put in the... okay, I'm doing it. I would probably put in the molds because they take up a lot of space. And it doesn't really matter what order you do this. It looks like I'm doing one more smelter. And again, you can use the insert button over here, guys. It works for some things and doesn't for other things. So there we go. We have those guys melting and we have enough fuel. So what we're going to do is wash ourselves. But you don't need to see that. Okay, these guys are now done. Now in between, guys, I've been collecting wood. I've been washing myself. I've been eating, that kind of thing. There's the blade mold right there. We're going to put the blade mold inside the furnace and that's going to cook. Then we're going to take the empty mold and we're going to craft it and make our armor mold just like before, which is melted ore and 1 single stick. And that's going to create the armor mold. And we're going to put that in the furnace next to the other one. Okay, my fire's gone again, and that's because of its location, but you are not going to have that problem. Right, let's have a look here. We need some more fuel. He's still cooking and he's done. So, it actually works to have these staggered, not to have them finish at the same time, because while you're busy sorting one out, the other one could be roasting just like it is now. So, we're going to top both of these guys up. I probably would top the other one up first, but I've got enough for both him and him. There we go, charcoal. And feed the fire. There we go. And they are getting there. Again, skipping ahead, we're going to have a mud brick. We're going to harvest him to create our armor mold. Or empty mold, sorry, not the armor mold. We have 2 empty molds, but we're going to craft him one more time. We have enough smelter. So we have some melted ore and a single stick like before. And we have to do this for each of the 4 armor, oh sorry, each of the 4 extremities, arms and legs. So what have we got in our backpack here? Tribal arrows, we have empty mold, and we need to put these guys on the side over here because they take up a shitload of space. And over here we have, is that empty or armor? I didn't see. Armor mold. So that one is ready to go after these 2 are done. I don't know what my cat's doing. He's trying to get into a bag. Oh, no, he's in the bag already. Okay, so some leeches. It's the only time I show leeches, just to let you know that these things are happening in between everything else. Right, so let's see where we are now, guys. I think this is the dawn of the 4th day. I'm not sure. Difficult to keep track. So if it's an armor mold coming out of there, we harvest and we get our castings. Right over there. We have castings. So now we're going to take our armor molds and empty mold. We're going to make into an armor mold again. Melted ore, single stick, and we can get 2 more of these going on the burn. Okay, not enough space to pick him up, but it's fine. We'll do it after. So again, you can use the insert button just like that. I think the only time it didn't work for me is trying to use the insert button on the tortoise shell, trying to put it into the fire. Okay, here we go, guys. So we have a look at the charcoal. Again, we're just going to stoke this up. Fill this up a bit. Maybe it's a bit too soon to use an entire stack. And now we're going to need to go sleep, because if you look at my stamina, it's almost nothing. After my sleep, we're going to come back down and harvest. And harvest. So now we should have a shit ton of these iron castings. But before we start messing around with that, I should be putting some more in the fire. See, there we go. We got tons of them. Okay, looks like I'm doing it now. I should get those guys furnacing before doing this. So to create the armor, harvest a banana leaf, add 2 strings and 3 metal castings, and that is your armor. Bang. There we go. There is one. We're going to make some space in the bag, and we do the extremity viewing angle, and we can put our armor on. Here we go. It has to be in your bag. You can't do it from the ground, because he looks up when you do this. And there we go. I really wish you could insert this at least, but you can't. Or I couldn't. We're going to do another one because we actually have enough castings in our possession. 2 ropes, 3 castings. There we go. Done. That is 2 of the 4 required. And he's already in our inventory, which is going to make this next part easy. And here we go. Bang. 50% there. Now, again, I should have done all this while everything was burning. All that time I could have been melting iron. And now I'm going to do the metal blade. So metal blade, long stick and rope is going to give us the metal spear, which is one of the requirements. And we created the metal ball, the metal mold, the blade mold earlier. The same way you do the armor mold, except just use a stone blade. So stone blade, empty mold, and smelted ore. Okay, so we got to get the fire going again. I'm going to speed this whole section up because I need to show it sometime. So again, don't use the insert button on the water. You've got to manually put the water in your bowl. Then we're going to take the uncooked meat and chuck them in there. And put the other meat next to the fire. The snail, we're just going to eat. They're not worth it. They give you like 4 or something, 4 proteins. They're not worth your time messing around with the snails. But again, this whole time I've had nothing burning in here. So again, massive fail, which is why I could probably do this a lot quicker next time. Here's an armor mold, which means there's metal to be smelted in there. We're going to insert the armor mold in there. And this is the second last one. And over here we have empty mold. So once again, smelted ore or melted ore and a stick. Here we go. We're going to chuck him into the second smelter. See, 5 o'clock on the 4th of whatever it is, January. So we have about 18 hours before this challenge is over. Luckily, we've got 2, or maybe I haven't seen the other one. We've got enough to get the fires going. See, these 2, this one and those 2 furnaces should have been done before I was doing any of that food or anything. So again, like I was saying, I probably could do this quicker. I'm not going to say a lot quicker, but quicker, because I'll be more organized. I'll know that I only need 7 pieces of metal, not to put stuff in front of these things, not to put my campsite in a potential flood risk area. So we're going to go and, what did we do? I think we slept a little bit. These guys are still going. I think we slept for a couple of hours to speed things up. We're going to put, no, he is a light. I don't know why is he doing that? Is it not a light? Broke my fire starter as well. That's unfortunate, eh? We create another one. Large stick and small stick. And we're going to use him. Is he not a light? How do I know if it's a light or not? I can't see in the fast forward ones. Oh, there's actually a picture of a flame. No. Huh. I'm not sure if that's a light or not. I honestly couldn't tell you. Huh. I don't know, whatever. As long as they're a light, they're good. Okay, so we need these two guys to be done. And then they create 2 each. And I need 6. So I need to do 3. There's my saving bananas on the last night. Which is gonna... My health isn't kind of going down at the moment, but obviously this was at 0, so that's a good thing. And our food's looking good for now. And we have a little bit longer on these 2. And we're going to need to do 1 more before the night's over. So we're going to skip ahead right now after we do some more mud bricking. So we're going to harvest him and make the mold. We need 2 more. And do the mud brick if we need to. Okay, let's skip ahead. Right, so these 2 are still burning. This one's done, so we can harvest him straight away. Then we need 1 more. At this point, honestly, I could tell you that I didn't know how many I needed. I was just making them. I mean, you can't like pause and count what you've done. Well, you definitely can, but it was all just so panicky because at the time, there's so much more you're thinking of than me sitting here commentating. I'm like, oh, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? It's because you're thinking of everything all at once while doing this. So it is kind of panicky. So here we go, guys. We're nearly there. We're going to put the empty tin in there, and that's the last empty tin that we need to put in there. But I'm pretty sure I didn't know that at the time. So we have 4 casings, which means we just need 2 more, which means 1 more melted tin, which we've just put in. And then we are done. So we're going to go back to the molds with a banana leaf. Actually, we're going to craft our second last armor. 3 casing or castings and 2 ropes. And go. Almost there. And then the metal armor again, you have to make space, put it on our leg. It takes such a long time. I wish I could just insert. There we go. Done. 1 more armor we need. I must have known that by now. I mean, I wasn't even sure how many it gave me, 2 or 3. So we're going to go for a quick sleep. Now watch this. At 10 a.m., 10:30, the challenge ends. So we're looking at... There we go. What, 9 hours? 10:30, yeah, 10:30 it ends. So 10 hours-ish. And he's almost done. The one on the left is done. So there's the melted ore right there. We just need to do 1 more armor mold. We're going to craft him. Melted ore and the stick. See, here I'm kind of like, what am I doing? There we go. Melted ore and the stick. That's it. That's the last one. And we're going to insert. Bang. And the fire's going. Come on. There we go. So the one on the right, I'm not sure if that's armor or if it's just melting tin. But let's skip ahead. It's Hoppers 2. So we've got about 8 hours, give or take. Let's skip ahead. I think I'm going to sleep a little bit more here. So again, 10:30 a.m. this ends and it's now 7 a.m. So 3.5 hours I've got coming down to the wire here. But these guys definitely should be done. So here is the armor mold. We're going to harvest him to get the last 2 castings that we need. Which is, when I saw 3 in here, I was like, woohoo! Let's go, baby. So now we need to find a banana leaf. And this challenge is done. Done and dusted. So, 3 castings. And 2 ropes. And when I saw this trophy pop, that was some serious endorphin release. And I was like, wait, what's happening? Nope, you have to equip it still. I thought something was going to go wrong the last, like, hour, and I couldn't put the armor on my leg or something. Imagine if you have, like, 20 minutes left and you're doing this. You're trying to equip it. But there it is, guys. Iron Man trophy achieved. So bloody stoked to see that pop. You have no idea. Oh my goodness. But that is it, guys. Here's a massively long video. It took many days to create. I really hope you found it informative. Any questions you have at all, ask me in the comments down there. I'm always going to reply to the questions, guys, and pretty please smash the like button. And if you really enjoyed the video, then hit that subscribe button. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I want to catch you on the next one.